What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. The Reddit AMA is over now, and it was a massive disappointment, to say the least. Now, obviously, I went into this knowing full well that they wouldn't talk about skill-based matchmaking, even though it was the number one talked about problem. Almost every single comment on that Reddit thread was talking about skill-based matchmaking. But here we are, once again completing this AMA with no answers and zero transparency from Activision or Sledgehammer Games on this major matchmaking issue. I do not know who it serves to continue to be silent about it, to continue to neglect it and ignore it, because it's not going away. It's not a problem that's just going to disappear and all of a sudden the community is going to stop talking about it. It is a massive issue that everyone's talking about and will continue to talk about, because it needs to be addressed, it needs to be fixed, it needs to be something that actually gets talked about, something that Activision is honest about. Like I said in yesterday's video, if they came out and said, hey, here's the player retention numbers that proves that skill-based matchmaking directly correlates to players playing longer, I'll say, okay, you're right, I'm wrong, that's fine. Or if you had the numbers that said, hey, because of skill-based matchmaking, it directly leads to more revenue, I'd be like, okay, perfect, you have these numbers. But until you can show me concrete proof that it attributes to either of those successes, I'll wait and I'll continue to criticize it, because you have not been able to fabricate that type of data yet. And until you can prove to me that that is what skill-based matchmaking is doing, it's still going to be a point of contention for me when it comes to Call of Duty. But that's not all that Sledgehammer Games didn't choose to really address during this Reddit AMA. They didn't want to talk about server issues. They didn't really touch on packet burst. They didn't really want to touch on what was in store for Modern Warfare 3. They were tight-lipped about it all. They didn't even try to get some hype behind this game. It was more robotic PR-type answers to almost everything. The only valuable pieces of information that we really got from this was the fact that, yeah, they are going to disable the guy's skin until they figure out how to implement changes to increase visibility. Almost like you should have outlines on the players to increase visibility because it'll make players easier to see. I don't know, could be better for everybody. But for the most part, if you look at the answers on this Reddit thread that is now locked by moderators, almost every answer seems the same. They all start with some form of, we're actively investigating, or in a future update, or this is something the team definitely wants to try out. None of it actually providing real answers. The only real answer that we got was that the game is going to get 6 2v2 maps in rotation for Season 1, and that's about it for Gunfight, and that's it. And of course, we're getting Shipment. Shocking. Shipment's coming back once again. The most unoriginal game from Call of Duty is getting even more unoriginal by bringing back Shipment. Now, maybe I shouldn't get that frustrated because at least Shipment is somewhat decent. But again, how much effort would it take for somebody over at Sledgehammer Games, for somebody over at Activision to create a map that has the essence of Shipment, but make it better and make it new, so it's a new experience for the players instead of the same regurgitated experience year in and year out? We are all about trying to embrace the past, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. But we should also be trying to revolutionize for the future, and they're so stuck in their ways, so stuck in the past because they refuse to innovate or get creative, that here we are once again bringing Shipment back in. And the same argument goes for me when it comes to Nuketown and Treyarch maps. We can leave Nuketown. We don't need to continue to go back there. It's a great map, sure, fine, whatever, but it does not need to be in every single Treyarch title. It's time to just leave that be. Let it die in Black Ops Cold War, and that can be the last time we see it for at least a few more iterations of Black Ops games. That's the truth. We need to let some of these maps just die out and bring back new ones that we haven't seen before. Create new iconic maps. I couldn't tell you the last time Call of Duty created an iconic map. It's been quite a few years. It's quite disappointing. But to get back to the point of this video, this Reddit AMA, which was supposed to be about the community and the developer connecting, was nothing more than just a nothing burger. There was nothing of value here. Oh, you want disbanding lobbies not to exist? Just wait for a future game update where we figure out if we can actually roll it out to everybody. Spoiler alert, they won't. Oh, you want the blast radius on grenades to be nerfed? We're actively investigating that. Oh, you want streak looping to come back because it makes sense? Yeah, it's something the team wants to try out. It's not something they're going to implement even though the community wants it. These aren't changes that are going to upset the majority of players. If anything, it's going to please the majority of players. Could you imagine if they brought back non-disbanding lobbies? How about if they just listen to the community when it comes to nerfing the blast radius on grenades? What about bringing back streak looping, pardon me? Like, these are changes that would positively affect Modern Warfare 3 instead of not doing anything and negatively impacting the game. It just doesn't really seem to make much sense. But welcome to Call of Duty in 2023, where inaction is the new action, and we'd far rather do nothing and fail than do something and fail. And I don't understand why. Think outside the box. Do what you used to do, even. But they won't do that. They are so hell-bent on disbanding lobbies, being completely silent about SBMM, not listening to this community, that it's just continuously going to shoot themselves into the foot. I'm not impressed here whatsoever. I was hopeful that this AMA would lead to some positive conversation, would lead to an opportunity to see what they have going on in the future. But there's nothing of value here. There's nothing that I can look at and hang on to and say, wow, once this rolls out, the game will be better. Because we have no faith or no trust that they're going to implement any of these changes, because it all has to go through Activision first. And Activision probably doesn't want them to have non-disbanding lobbies. Activision doesn't want the community to be informed about what could be coming up next. That's why they won't talk about DLC maps. Activision doesn't want to talk about streak looping because it might affect those players who can't quite get streaks and they don't want to push them away from the game. We're part of a community where the developers of the current Call of Duty game have very little power. Where Activision is, for whatever reason, becoming dictators on what changes can be implemented into these developers' games to make the game better. Again, if you listen to the community, the game would be better. Instead of listening to Activision, because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't have a creative bone in their body, it seems, as of late. They're not at all in tune with this community. Frankly, they are directly out of touch with this community. So why is it that we're so hell-bent on listening to their every move instead of starting to work with the community? Figure out why packet burst is such an issue. Do something about skill-based matchmaking. Talk about the servers. Be transparent. It's not that difficult. But here we are again in an opportunity to actually bridge a gap between the community and the developer, and they failed miserably. This isn't just disappointing. It's downright a flop. And I cannot support this any longer. I cannot look at Sledgehammer Games and say, you guys got your shit together. Because you don't. You don't got it together. This AMA was a giant nothing burger. Simple as that. But maybe there was something in it for you guys, so let me know if there was anything from this Reddit AMA that impressed you, that you're looking forward to. Let me know with a comment down below, and as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.